Hi there, this is Mark Schauder with Sotheby's International Realty with another episode of Poway Today. Today I'm here with Lily, owner of Yauvana Studios, yoga studios, right?
Yauvana Yoga and Float.
Okay, thank you. See, why don't you tell us about your business?
Sure. So yoga has been very important to me for the last 15 years or so. And then I found floating about 5 years ago and really found that to be amazing as well. I own fertility businesses already, which has kind of been what I've been doing for the last 11 years. And I kind of used yoga and floating to kind of release the day-to-day stress from everything the world has to offer. But I did find with floating that when I went in, I was so busy that it took me quite a while for my brain to kind of shut off. And it's an hour that you're in there, so I wasn't really able to get that full hour of time for the meditation. What I do know is that after I do a yoga class, after Shavasana, which is the final pose where you like lay there staring up at the ceiling
And be fully relaxed?
Fully relaxed after a nice good workout, that was the time when I was in the best space to possibly get the most out of floating. So we kind of built the business around the concept of encouraging people to really get the most out of floating and also the most out of yoga by combining the two. So we're not just kind of a workout place, which we do offer a lot of high intensity, more workout based classes, but we also, on the other side of us, have a lot of deep meditation and pain management classes along with floating, which is fantastic for pain management as well.
Okay, I've never heard of floating before. You showed me the what do you call them?
Well, there's cabins, and then we also have a pod.
Pod.
Yes.
Tell everybody what floating actually is and how it works.
Sure, yeah. So floating is where you go into a space by yourself, nude, and you're in 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt and 10 inches of water. We do have starry light ceilings and music and things like that, but the idea behind floating is to be completely sensory deprived, so that your brain has nothing going on that it can be assaulted by, and so it allows the brain to start repairing neurons and repairing kind of just nerve pathways. So for that, it's great for anxiety, sleep disorders, even anger management, all sorts of things. But also it's very good for physical recovery and pain, because A, you're in Epsom salt, because that helps, but B, it's because you're giving your brain a break from everything that we're dealing with in the outside world. So in fact, the Patriots in New England actually say that this is the reason why they are so successful, because they require the entire team to actually sleep in the pods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on site during the season. So for 6 hours, that's when they sleep, and they sleep in the pods. Wow. Because they say that an hour of sleep in the pod is twice as much as far as the benefit. So yeah, and not Seth Rogen, gosh, I can't remember his name. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is huge on this. This is all he talks about is floating and yoga as well. So
yeah, I've never heard of it before today. That's
it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, and different people have different experiences. Some people fall asleep. Some people just go into this very enhanced meditative state where you're just blissed out, and then some people kind of sit in there and think and come out with great ideas. So it's different for everyone.
So what drives you? Motivates you, gets you up in the morning to come to the studio?
Well, I have 3 wonderful, amazing children who I love and adore, and I want to give them kind of a view of something like this, and building something and really kind of creating something and creating a space where people can come together and really experience the world and life kind of through a more unified fashion.
And what has surprised you about owning this business? Because you're an entrepreneur at
Yeah,
heart.
well, I will say I've never owned a storefront before.
Okay.
So historically, I would maybe meet with a client maybe 3 times a year total, because most of it's done by email or phone. So this has been interesting, where you see people constantly coming in. I converse with maybe 15, 20 people a day, which is, I'm used to working out of my house. I never knew how to use a POS system, so I'm still struggling with how to actually charge people for things, which is, that's fun. So there's all sorts of different kind of things that go along with actually having a storefront and actually having, a gym space as well. But it's been a great adventure, and couldn't be happier.
Good. What do people love about your business?
So they definitely love floating. There are, I think, 3 other float studios in San Diego, and we are definitely the most elite, mainly because we built it from the ground up. Instead of just putting the tanks in there, we actually built the space for what we're doing. So people say that they love that it's calming, it's peaceful in here. As soon as you walk in, there's always someone at the front desk to help you. We have great locker facilities, so if people want to do a workout in the morning for one of our boot camp classes, they can then shower and change to head into work. And then we do heated yoga, as well as we have steam systems to make it nice and spicy. So it's our wide array of services, and just the level of our environment in here is what people talk most about.
Nice. And challenges?
Yeah, of course, with any business, there's some challenges.
You're new?
Yeah, we're brand new. So we opened on June 8th.
Okay.
And opening during the summer is a little bit of a challenge for especially membership-based workout facilities, because kids are all over the place and schedules don't really line up and everyone's on vacation and the whole thing. So that's been a bit of a challenge. And then of course, just learning, for me, fortunately we have a team that does have experience in those things. But learning, how to handle each issue as it comes up, or if a tank disconnects from the router for some reason, or, just the little kind of every day is a new adventure.
And you have a team. So
Yes,
how many
yes,
people
yes,
do you
yes.
have?
Yeah, so my husband actually works, he's an attorney, and he actually works out of here as well, with his own practice, and so he's usually in the back and he maintains the tanks and takes over the front. And then Shane, who's usually at the front, he's basically always here. He teaches a lot of classes as well. He's fantastic and he has a great breadth of experience. And then we also have Maddie, who's kind of the more assistant manager type, who's usually around as well. So, yeah.
What is it that people don't know about your business? Obviously you're new, so they don't know a lot, but what is it that you can share with people?
I would say, the floating is what we really end up educating people about the most. So whenever we get people that come in all the time just asking for a tour to see what our facility is, which we do, we're happy to accommodate. The other thing that I think people don't necessarily know about us, because it's non-typical of yoga studios, is we do have a lot of very physical therapy based classes. So we have quite a few beginners and slow Indian yoga. So it's not, you will see some of those core power style classes where it's a super vigorous, very intense, more workout. And then you'll also see ones where it's exceedingly accessible for people with disabilities, or elderly people, or people who are just not accustomed to yoga at all. We're very accessible.
That would be me, not accustomed.
Yeah, and we get quite a few people who have never tried that we convinced to come in. We're like, hey, give it a shot. And now they're coming back, and you see their growth kind of as they do more and more classes with their increased flexibility and knowledge about posture and positions. And so that's, most people, when they think of yoga, they think I can't do it, and we're trying to break through that.
So it's really almost a lifestyle change when they start learning the poses and positions. And,
yeah, and it's hugely beneficial, especially as people get older, due to stability. So just kind of having that kind of stable base can really prevent a lot of potential injuries and various health issues. And so it's really a good practice for people to get into kind of throughout their life, for sure. But yes, it does become a bit of a lifestyle.
Memorable experiences? I mean, you're here for a short time, but memorable experiences that you've had? Well,
I would say some of the classes that we've had have been pretty amazing. We've had some classes where there's just been a couple of us, and so we're able to kind of accommodate anything. And so there was one a couple weeks ago where a few of us didn't know how to do a certain pose, and because we were so kind of flexible about it, able to kind of adjust the class structure to what we wanted, we were able just to kind of work through that one posture for the entire time. And by the end of it, all of us yogis who have been doing yoga for 10 plus years could actually do the posture. So we haven't been around for long, but there's little stuff that
anything I haven't touched on that you'd like to share with us?
No, I would say right now, well, we do, so we have heated and non-heated classes. And so it's important that if you don't like heat, to check out our schedule, make sure you're coming to one that's non-heated. And if you do like heat, we do have pretty warm classes, and we do have a humidifier system that will make it kind of more of that that hot power sort of class. It's going to be really intensely sweaty. So we have it all over the board, but it's definitely just important to check the schedule to make sure that there's nothing too crazy.
And how do people check your schedule? Is there a website?
Sure, yeah, so you can go to yogaandfloat.com, pretty easy to remember. We're also on the Mind Body app, so either one, you can find it, or you can come into the studio and chat with us to take a tour, or you can always give us a call. But the schedule is best to be seen online because it does change sometimes as we kind of make some moves.
And tell everybody where you're located.
Sure, so we are on Midland Road behind kind of the Holy Crepe and Hop Stop area in Old Poway Market, 14021 Midland Road.
Okay, very good. And your hours?
We're basically open all the time. We're 7:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. We're open every day except for Sunday. Sunday we close at 2 for special events.
Okay, but you're open 7 days a week.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and and we will also, starting in 2 weeks, have bi-weekly workshops where every other Sunday afternoon at 2 we'll have sound healing workshops or acupuncture workshops, or the one that's coming up is vision boarding. So we're very excited.
Share what that is?
Yeah, so vision boarding is basically where you go through and you cut out stuff from magazines or whatever that you want to manifest in your life, and then you put those on this poster board, kind of like you would in high school, and then you put it somewhere in your home where you're going to see it every day, for the idea of seeing something makes it like having that be your focus. You manifest what you focus on. So that's kind of the idea.
Very good.
So yeah, all sorts of exciting things happening.
Very good. Thank you, Lily.
Yes,
I appreciate your time. This is Mark Schauder with another episode of Poway Today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.